it a certain way and you do it your way and then mess up, I don't want to clean it up. Because that was your fuck up, not mine.
Listen, I was feeling that Jake Paul was going to knock out Tank. This press conference made me feel a little bit more confident about Tank. I'm no cap.
He done a lot in his career, right? Not everything, but he done a lot. What people don't understand is his business is a lot.
Floyd Mayweather recently shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. He said that Davis is making his own choices, and by taking this fight, he's taking a big risk with his career. Mayweather mentioned that he's offered advice in the past, but if it's not followed, it's no longer his responsibility. Still, he believes the matchup is exciting for the sport, the payday is huge, and he's definitely planning to watch it.
Within my company, within my team, do it my way. Because if you mess up, I don't mind being a janitor to clean up the mess because I told you to do it a certain way. But if I tell you to do it a certain way and you do it your way and then mess up, I don't want to clean it up. Because that was your fuck up, not mine.
The boxing world is buzzing with debate over the upcoming clash between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Jake Paul. Fans and experts are split. Some argue the fight is just a publicity stunt, while others see it as a smart move that could help Tank reach a wider audience beyond traditional boxing fans. As the hype builds, insiders are weighing in too, with some backing Davis' decision and others questioning what this matchup means for the future of the sport.
And number 3, the retirement.
I mean, the backlash is just what people do nowadays. That's just, you give somebody a keyboard, you give them a phone, and they able to hide their face. Yeah, they're gonna have a field day. The backlash I get, I understand. What'd you say, number 2? Not fight Shakur?
Yeah, he's saying he'll never fight Shakur. That he ain't gonna do him no favors. That he ain't gonna help him make no money because Shakur broke or something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't get all that. That's, you know what I mean? That's against the game. Like, you know what I mean? You at least owe that fight for the game. You know what I mean? You owe the rematch to Lamont for the game, but you owe Shakur for the game just because of the 2 style matchups. You know what I mean? But if he feel like he don't gotta fight him, guess what? We can't sit here and just go crazy about it, but it is kind of crazy.
Trainer Greg Hackett voiced his frustration over the criticism Gervonta Davis has been facing. He said fans today seem to judge fighters for almost everything they do, often without knowing their personal situations. Hackett stressed that if Davis decides to fight Jake Paul, that choice deserves respect. No one outside the ring truly understands what drives a fighter or what challenges they're dealing with. He added that fans should stop trying to control who fighters face and instead appreciate the hard work and discipline it takes to compete at the highest level. His comments reflect a growing frustration among trainers and athletes who feel that social media has turned boxing criticism into non-stop noise.
He done a lot in his career, right? Not everything, but he done a lot. What people don't understand is his business is a lot. This whole experience is a lot. The shit these fighters go through is hard to explain. It's hard to explain because people, they can't see it, so they can't understand it. But it's stressful to the fighters because they coming from just getting ready to fight in the amateurs, being prepared, going out there, win, get it done, celebrate. All right, we back to the next camp. To now, marketing. You're talking about marketing. You're talking about lawyers. You're talking about all this shit that you just never imagined. You like, why do I have to deal with all of this shit? People trying to keep money coming in, so they trying to come up with bright ideas. At the same time, you got a lot of people trying to get shit from you.
Another major topic sparking debate is the reaction to sports analyst Max Kellerman's recent comments. Many in the boxing community have accused Kellerman of showing clear bias, particularly against fighters like Gervonta Davis. In several appearances, he downplayed Davis' accomplishments, even suggesting that Tank was never a real champion in his division and hadn't achieved anything truly significant. Those remarks have angered many analysts, who argue that Kellerman is overlooking Davis' strong record and knockout power. Critics say his comments reflect a deeper problem in boxing media, a tendency to undervalue rising stars while hyping up flashy storylines. The controversy has reignited conversations about how bias and favoritism shape public opinion of fighters and their careers.
Because Max Kellerman is full of nonsense. Max Kellerman claims that Gervonta Davis was never a champion, that we've never been a period of time when we looked at Gervonta Davis and said Gervonta Davis is the man in that weight class. bunch of other ridiculousness pouring out of the pie hole of Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman is one of the most biased, bought and paid for journalists that there is in the sport of boxing, and to have him back talking again on and giving his opinion again about the sport of boxing, I promise you, is not a good thing. But let's analyze what he had to say about Gervonta. That Gervonta was not ever a champion. That is ridiculous, because Gervonta Davis was a champion for the IBF at 130. He was a WBA super champion at 130. He is currently the reigning WBA champion at 135, and there is no other champion in the division for the WBA at the moment. He is the only WBA champion that there is at 135. He had a portion of a secondary. The title at the time he won it at 140 was a secondary title. So if you do not want to count that, I don't know why you wouldn't, seeing as everybody else counts that belt. But okay, fine. He's a 2-division world champion. That is more than zero, Max Kellerman. Now, looking at the idea that Gervonta Davis has never been the man in that division is absolutely ridiculous, because Gervonta Davis has really been the man in that division the entire time that he's there.
Former world champion Pauli Malignaggi didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts on the Davis versus Jake Paul fight. He strongly criticized the matchup, saying it undermines the sport's authenticity. According to Malignaggi, knockouts only truly matter when they happen between evenly matched fighters, and staged matchups like this, he argued, cheapen boxing and mislead casual fans into thinking they are watching real competition. Speaking with fellow analyst Chris Algieri, Malignaggi said that while casual viewers might find the event entertaining, true boxing fans can see through the spectacle. He believes that letting social media stars share the spotlight with elite athletes blurs the line between entertainment and real boxing. His comments highlight a growing conflict in the sport, the struggle between staying true to tradition and chasing mainstream attention.
Knockouts, dude. Knockouts. People like knockouts. They don't care if you're knocking out cab drivers. Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that, though. You can manufacture that, though. You can manufacture.
You can't manufacture.
To a degree, you can. To a degree. I mean, you can't. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists, though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweight.
But if he was a real knockout artist,
champions.
If he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way we did when Felix Trinidad was doing it. You know, the way when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
Well, by your standard, you could say that Tyson was, to a degree, manufactured.
No, because he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there.
Teddy Atlas will 100% agree with this.
With the expense of
Witherspoon. That were afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all, doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who I contracted.
You can say the same thing about?
Who had contract issues with King at the time. Oh, except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when are you going to fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out everyone.